Today, on Gems of the Nature Coast, we travel to downtown Brooksville where we explore two of the town's local landmarks. First, we'll take a tour of the May Stringer House. Find out how this once condemned building was saved and transformed to a beautiful historic museum. We will take a tour of the mysterious mansion and learn about the influential families that lived here. We'll also investigate some of the residents that still live here. With a psychic medium as our guide, we'll explore the numerous hotspots of spiritual activity that attract ghost hunters from all around the country. And later, we'll head across the street to a Hernando County institution where Christmas is an all-year celebration. We'll talk with the new manager about his passion for keeping this Brooksville treasure alive and how he has transformed the grounds into something out of a southern fairy tale, complete with a happy ending. It's all coming up on Gems of the Nature Coast. You may have traveled through the old city of Brooksville and noticed what looks to be a lonely historic home sitting on the corner of Jefferson Street. To the unsuspecting visitor, this might just seem like another carefully preserved home with a historic plaque. But to the locals, they know it's much more. The past of this mysterious house is filled with a wide range of emotions, from pride to happiness to tragic sadness. To fully understand the significance of this home, it's important to learn its history first. This Queen Anne Victorian home is the oldest restored home in Hernando County. Back in 1979, this historic structure was condemned and scheduled to be demolished. It was at this time the Hernando Historical Museum Association was formed with a specific purpose to protect the home. They not only succeeded providing sanctuary for the May Stringer House, but also acquired the historic train depot and schoolhouse. All of these sites under the umbrella of the association are not only preserved, but have been transformed into museums to showcase the history of Hernando County.
The house was actually built in two parts, which is why it has two names. The first 4 rooms of the house were built in 1856 by John May. 30 years later, Dr. Sheldon Stringer bought the property and added 10 more rooms. It is now a 14-room house, hence the name May Stringer. It is not a first and last name, it is the last name of the 2 men that built it.
Over the years, dedicated volunteers have meticulously decorated the May Stringer House to preserve the historic atmosphere. The work has paid off. With over 10,000 items donated, the house is presented more like a home than a typical history museum.
We have tried to leave it as a home, and when our guests walk through, they feel like they're actually in someone's home. Farther into the house, there are glass display cases, and there are certain exhibits in some of the rooms that very definitely wouldn't be a part of a Victorian home. You know, we have one room called the communications room. That houses early telephone equipment and things like that. So there are exhibits here and there, but for the most part, we wanted to leave the house looking like it was in 1890.
The interior is not the only space that has been perfectly preserved. The exterior of the structure is just as impressive.
It is Victorian, very much so, and if you take a tour around the house, you'll see that the banisters are unusual. There's gingerbread, and it's specifically a Queen Anne, which was one of the original, they called them painted ladies in those days. And this house I guess, has been painted in 4 different colors, which is a criteria of a painted lady.
The museum's most recent project involved restoring the master bedroom of the house.
Welcome to our latest restoration project. It took a little over 6 months to do it. This is the master bedroom for the Stringer portion of the house. So Dr. Stringer added this room for his and Mrs. Stringer's use. The master bedroom in the Victorian period was actually the haven for the wife. She would actually have her sewing or whatever, hobby she had. This was her one place of privacy. And for Mrs. Stringer, having her husband practicing medicine downstairs really meant that she needed to have a place that she could actually just go to.
The room was completed with the addition of authentic Victorian furniture.
Now the furniture in this room is very special. It was donated by a family that thought this was the appropriate place to put it. It came from a plantation house in North Carolina. And as you can see, it's quite large, but it really fits this bedroom. And this is just about what would have been here during Dr. Stringer's time.
Aside from its historical significance, there's another attraction to this museum. The May Stringer House is also famous for being a major spiritual hub of paranormal activity.
Well, it began 10 years ago, actually exactly 10 years ago. The museum was approached by a group, and they were the Florida affiliates of TAPS, which does Ghost Hunters on Sci-Fi Channel. And they wanted to be the first and only ones to come in this house and investigate it. Well, as it turned out, no one in the Museum Association except for me was willing to spend the night in the house. Things go bump in the night, and they always have and they always will. And this group came and they did an all-night investigation, and they got so much evidence that they came back 5 more times. They did a total of 6 investigations here. Since then, we have been investigated by 58 different ghost hunting teams. They've come from as far away as Chicago and Houston. Yes. We have been certified haunted by 46 of these teams. So yeah, we're certified.
Bonnie has not been immune to the spiritual encounters of this house. She recalls her first paranormal experience, which happened 13 years ago. After 3 weeks into her volunteering at the house, she was introduced to one of the house's permanent residents.
I was sitting in the entryway, and I had sent my 9-year-old daughter upstairs to turn out the lights. Well, I could hear her walking around, but I heard someone else walking around as well. And without divulging too much more of that particular instance, she came flying down the staircase and told me that there was a little girl grabbing the back of her leg while she was up there. So that was our initiation to the May Stringer house. And I have to tell you that it's been happening ever since.
John May died of tuberculosis in 1858. His wife Morena would later marry a Civil War veteran, Frank Saxon. Morena would eventually succumb to complications of childbirth, but the child survived. The little girl lived with her father until her own tragic death in 1872. She was only 3 years old. The identity of the little girl haunting the halls of May Stringer House is thought to be the lonely, wandering spirit of Jessie May Saxon.
And she's kind of stuck because her whole reality was this house. She was born here, she died here, she's kind of still here. And we all know her. Most of the volunteers have interacted with her. We hear laughter, we hear crying. Some of the antique toys get moved around the house. It's that sort of thing.
It's no surprise that Jessie May's room is one of the most active spots in the house for spiritual activity.
This is what I call Jessie May's bedroom, and it has been restored and decorated as a child's nursery. Jessie May had this room when she was born, and she was in this room when she passed away. So this was where she felt the most comfortable. There are 3 areas of this house that have more paranormal activity than the rest of the house does, and this is one of the 3, yes. This room is where the women and the children are, and we find that females have better luck investigating in this room than males do. It really depends on what you're after, but especially there are at least 2 children here. I'm pretty sure there's 3. 2 older children plus the little girl.
Other spirits make them known in a more direct way.
We have poltergeist activity, which is something else again. And their favorite thing to do is throw pictures across the room, especially if they have glass fronts. They love to smash them. And that's happened more times than I can actually tell you. I don't even know how many times.
Coming up next, we continue our tour with a volunteer and psychic who shares her paranormal experiences and insight of one of the most haunted houses on the Nature Coast. The Victorian May Stringer House in downtown Brooksville has been attracting visitors from all over Florida. Its articulate architecture and internal beauty have been carefully preserved over the years, attracting history buffs curious about the life and times of Brooksville's respected citizens. The house has also become a destination for paranormal investigators from all over the world due to its prolific haunting experiences. Diane Simmons, a psychic medium, is a volunteer for this historic museum and owner of Nature Coast Ghost Tours. She is fascinated with the amount of spiritual activity that occurs within these walls.
The May Stringer House is one of the top haunted places that I have ever been. It is amazing. It's got so many different aspects to paranormal activity.
There are numerous spirits wandering throughout the house. And as many times as Diane has visited throughout the years, there is always something new.
Things move. There are energy levels that feel different in each room of the house, in each area of the house. We always hear different things. We always see different things. We have evidence. We have personal experiences. Aside from that, there are spirits that don't even live here that show up at any given moment, and it's always different. It's just incredible.
Throughout Diane's many investigations, she has met and interacted with many of the house's spirits, some audible and some physical.
I've had my hair played with, I've had my clothes tugged on, I've had a few times where I've heard my name, physically heard it. There's a little girl that's here, and she's very sweet, she's very shy, but she likes to play peek, and she will come out. And I saw her babies, her dolls, in her cradle, and somebody made mention of her dolls. Did you see her dolls? And I said, those are not her dolls, those are her babies, because that's what she said to me. And they looked at me and said, oh my God, that's the same thing that we got from other people, that's what she refers to them as. Those are my babies, and you don't touch them at all.
Another room with strong paranormal activity is the military exhibit, which displays various uniforms and accessories worn throughout the years with many memories and stories to tell to the unsuspecting visitors.
There are a lot of spirits in here. They come in with the uniforms, they come in with artillery. It doesn't matter what it is, they can attach to any object, and so they do come in with those things. It's a very highly active room, and they love to listen to music. So if you come in here, play them some music, they love that.
The final active spot in the house lies in the attic. This lonely, dark corridor is filled with old trinkets, toys, and furniture that linger in the shadows. Many of these items could be personal items left behind by the spirits that now haunt the attic of the May Stringer house.
There is a gentleman, dare I say, up here who's very cranky, and he doesn't like many people at all. He is attached to this trunk. He doesn't like anybody near it. He's very protective of it, And either he likes you or he doesn't. And he, most of the time, doesn't like anyone. We do get some EVPs with his voice on there. We have had some things move up here, but most of the time he's very grabby. He likes the ladies, and so if you come up here, it's enter at your own risk. You may get touched, you may get feel a hand on your back, and you may get screamed at in an EVP. So it all depends on what mood he's in, and it all depends on who's up here and whether or not he wants to cooperate.
You can experience the supernatural atmosphere of the house yourself by going on an actual ghost hunt. Nature Coast Ghost Tours offers the chance to explore the May Stringer House and get an up-close and personal experience with the many spirits that call this house home.
And I do sell tickets to everyday people that want to do a real paranormal investigation. They get their ticket. I supply all the equipment. We've got cameras. We have all kinds of different tools that we use, the spirit box and EMF detectors and all kinds of different equipment. And so all they have to do is buy their ticket and show up, and we provide the rest. And they get a real life ghost hunt.
And with the incredible amount of paranormal activity that radiates from the May Stringer House, you won't be disappointed.
And there's not any single person that's ever been in here on a ghost tour that have left without experiencing something, whether it be an EVP or something physical that's happened or a personal experience. Everybody that comes through that door has something to say when they leave.
Though the house attracts ghost seekers from all over the area, it's important not to forget the historical significance. Dedicated volunteers like Diane and Bonnie continue to preserve the house and educate the community about Brooksville's early history.
Learn about our history, learn about our culture. Don't forget about the people that have lived before us that helped make this what it is today.
I can't stress enough how important it is to preserve the history. Not just of Brooksville, Florida, but anywhere. And history's being forgotten in the techno world. And it's a darn shame, it really is. Because when we have school-age children come in this house, they're seeing things that they had no idea what they were. And it's gone forever if we don't preserve it. The look on one person's, if you've made a difference to one person when they come in here and look at something and go, oh my gosh, I never saw one of those, or something like that, it's all worth it.
From history, antiques, architecture, to the supernatural, the May Stringer House has something for everyone.
So it's both. You can get both. Whether you're a history buff or you're a ghost hunter in training, you can find it all here, and that's another incredible part of this house.
Coming up next, Santa Claus is coming to town and he's staying all year. We head to the new Rogers Christmas House, where Christmas is the reason for all the seasons. We'll also explore the grounds of the elegant Saxon Manor, where you can book your next party or event among the romantic atmosphere of downtown Brooksville. Located across the street from the May Stringer House sits another unusual building. Not for what's on the outside, but on the inside, where Christmas is an all-year celebration. Rogers Christmas House has been a popular destination in Brooksville for decades. But in 2014, new owners decided to update and modernize the hometown favorite, bringing holiday cheer to a new generation.
This is Rogers Christmas House Village. It's been here for about 35 years, and we've actually transformed it into a gift shop full of antiques, great Christmas presents, and just gifts for any occasion. When we opened, we weren't sure what was going to happen, and then, all the old customers from years ago, once they found out the store had reopened, everybody was so excited to come in here and check out what we had to offer.
The new owners are keeping the Rogers Christmas traditions alive. Of course, they offer the Christmas favorites, but they also carry a great selection of unique antiques which make perfect accents for your home any time of the year.
There's a huge niche for people that like to collect a lot of nutcrackers, Christmas ornaments, and any kind of antiques. You know, we have the store full of antiques. It's Christmas in July, you know, it's hot outside, it's Florida. You walk in here, it's nice and cool. There's Christmas trees everywhere, there's nutcrackers, all kinds of Christmas decor. So if you're ready for Christmas in Florida year-round, here we are.
Rogers Christmas House sits on the grounds of the majestic Saxon Manor. The new owners have invested a lot of time and effort in creating a perfect destination to hold a wedding or special event. One of the more recent additions to the Saxon Manor complex is the Shabby Chic Barn.
You know, we've got a lot of feedback from guests saying that they wanted a barn venue, like something that had the classic look of a barn, but then as you walk inside, it's a lot more contemporary. It's got the rustic appeal, but as you can see on the inside, very elegant, a lot of chandeliers, a lot of table runners. You know, the rustic look outside, then you walk inside and it's really chic, it's white, it's lit up, it's wonderful.
The barn is secluded from the hustle and bustle of downtown Brooksville, nestled under the trees and hidden from view, giving it an intimate and romantic atmosphere.
We are right outside of downtown Brooksville, actually. Tons of nature, as you can hear the birds in the background, woods, a lot of old historic trees. If you walk down our walkway, you'll see it looks like the Game of Thrones. I mean, it's really interesting. We have benches out there for our guests to sit down and just relax and, you know, enjoy the atmosphere. It's a lot different from most venues. There's a lot of property, there's a lot of land out here. It's very quiet. There's no outside noise.
Since the opening of the Shabby Chic Barn, it has garnered raving reviews and has become one of the most popular wedding destinations in West Central Florida.
We get great reactions from our guests. They love the venue, they love the atmosphere, they love having the outdoor style wedding and then coming in here and just being blown away by all the decor, the chandeliers. And then our staff is wonderful to work with as well. Very personable, outgoing people here, very friendly. We have a lot of great reviews.
If you're looking for something specific for your special event, Saxon Manor also offers the beautiful garden room. This glass-walled 150-guest venue is fully customizable to cater any style and overlooks the tranquil grounds of the Victorian Saxon Manor.
This is another one of our venues where we have weddings on the weekends and corporate events. As you can see behind me, it's all glassed in. Right now we have the tables all set up for a quinceañera that we're going to be having this Friday. The gardens are beautiful outside, and then in the background of your pictures you have the Saxon Manor house as well, so it's always a great place to get married.
And if you're looking to make a day of it, Rogers Christmas House and Saxon Manor are only a piece of this charming piece of Brooksville.
So if you decide to come down here and visit Rogers Christmas House Village, you know, there's also more shops around here. We have the Wired Bird, and we also have the tea room next door. Great places to get lunch and just come out and, you know, spend the day.
The Hernando Historical Museum Association continues the legacy of the May Stringer House by preserving an important piece of Brooksville's past. Their unwavering passion to save a once condemned building is a true inspiration and credit to the people of this area who believe that their history and culture should never be forgotten. The house stands as a proud, victorious symbol for the local community as well as anyone looking to achieve something greater than themselves. Rogers Christmas House and Saxon Manor have become synonymous with the city and West Central Florida. Having a business with the sole purpose of creating lasting memories and happiness to all of its guests is a blessing to all that enter. Whether it's your wedding day, birthday, anniversary, or even that perfect Christmas tree or ornament that will be cherished and passed down for generations, when you leave this place, you'll have a smile on your face and memories to last a lifetime. Downtown Brooksville truly is a gem of the Nature Coast.